guys, welcome back to another video on Clockwork Noodles as we break down episode number 12 of Summertime Render. This episode would have been a perfect way of giving us a cliffhanger if they were going to do split core. But Summertime Render is sticking it like a champ and doing all 25 episodes in one block. This anime is continuing into next season. Are we in next season? I think so. New animes have started airing. Hello and welcome to Summer 2022. This anime is just getting better and better. This week's episode may have just pole vaulted my hopes in this anime somewhere quite high. I have some very high hopes now because I was a little worried initially in season 1. I didn't think they were going to stick it properly. I've gained a lot from this episode, but before we get going, do make sure you are subscribed. Welcome to a new season. I am Clockwork Noodles. I break down seasonal animes. Hello and welcome to the channel if you are finding me for the first time. Everybody who joins the channel is a noodling. The idea of the noodle bowl, everyone comes together. We've all got something new to bring to the bowl. Together we have that one thing that ties us in common together, and that's the broth of anime. We love anime together and we're going to break it down. So if you're not a noodling yet, please do become a member by giving that subscribe button a bit of love because we are aiming to hit 1k of subscribers by the end of the year. Please help me make that a reality. Let's get going to a fantastic episode. It does act like a bit of a origin story. This god ended up copying a human girl. Was this girl called Hane. The god is the mother of the shadows. I do think if you know Japanese lore, you probably get a bit more from this because they are talking about a specific god. I still need to go and do that. I haven't done that. I keep saying I'm going to research her. I haven't yet. She's now looking for a new vessel, and we already know that data ends up running out eventually. However, this god has made this body live for centuries. They did confirm it this week as well, how long this plot really does go back. She's looking for a new body, and I didn't know if she was going to use Ushio as a new vessel, but I don't think that's the case because she ends up trying to rewrite her in the end. Maybe she's going to use Shiori as the new vessel because she's a young child, which fits. Maybe they've got more data running in them, perhaps because they're younger. This is the origin story. Now, Shin has her right eye. I don't know how, and this is very important. This also seems to have a bit of an effect on her. Both seem to have an effect on one another. Where Shin is able to do this jumping, and we do gain a bit more on the eye a bit later on, but I do love the glitching effect using this anime. It's so good. It does act as censorship this week as well. Thank you for censoring yourself. It just feels like something is wrong. A glitch is when something goes wrong or you can't quite explain it, but you know something's wrong. And that's what I like about this. It just glitches out every now and again. And it's like, oh, I don't like it. It's creepy. It's a little bit unnerving. And I think that's why this anime does also so well. It carries a very good vibe. A lot of great building going on this week. I absolutely love the composition of this shot. We have brother and sister divided. One was included in the plot. One was excluded. I mean, probably thankfully he was excluded. Horror that his dad was conducting. We do get motivation as well for why they were doing it. The clinic is feeding the dead to the god. This goes back generation after generation. It just shows you how far this whole story just goes back. We are given the average that 4 people die every single year on this island. However, we are seeing 2 coffins in front of Hane. She's promised that, tomorrow you're going to get even more, which does seem that they might be trying to speed up the deaths, and this is probably them starting to go to even more dangerous lengths by making these deaths happen more and more frequently and making people die before their time. So they've started dabbling in just simply giving away dead bodies, which is bad enough, but now they're trying to off people quickly to give her more because she's promised to them that I'm going to revive my body tomorrow, so they're giving her as much as they can. And obviously this is the lie that has been told to get them to do it. Now, the creepy laugh that she does, I think she wiggles over to the dead bodies because we're told that she can't quite walk on her feet anymore. That is just building right there. This is a horror, right? This is really horror elements. You've got a child giggling at the thoughts of eating dead bodies, crawling on the floor. I love it. You're using all of the good horror tropes right now to make me feel just uncomfortable. So uncomfortable. And what's even worse, we've got a dead body of Ushio. Perfect build to give you more shock factor. I didn't think it would be her because I was also under the impression she'd been cremated. We know that Ushio's death was caused by shadows. It does seem like the shadows are now offing more and more people, and the clinic's probably down with this. Toki is initially fine with this, accepts that this is going to be the breaking point. She knows that this is the proverbial nail in that coffin. She knows once Shinpei sees this dead body of Ushio, it is guaranteed he's going to flip and maybe be angry and direct some hate towards her. The motivation right now is, if your mother is brought back, somebody you dearly love, you are going to go to the lengths of just risking innocent lives. And initially Toki and her dad believe that it's just feeding dead bodies. These are just people who are dying naturally to a god. I'm going to bring back your loved ones. Toki ends up being dragged into this, but it is still wrong. I get it. I feel bad for her. She hasn't fully made herself in my book yet. It's still this idea that you can still see it's wrong, and you must have known it was wrong, but she must have felt so powerless because she couldn't have done anything. My mum is very important to me. At the risk of people I don't quite know, she put into place that you don't touch these people because they're precious to me. And only at the end, when the truth comes out, we see that she did try to set her own boundaries. Like, you can't touch my friends. I'll help you if on these conditions that this is what's going to be done. So we are given some information on why Toki is helping, what those motivations are. So we have an origin story. We've got our motives going on as well. I am very grateful that the anime just has Hanae absorbing people and just getting rid of them, because imagine how graphic it would have been to see a child eating a dead body with the blood kind of flowing down her face. Attack on Titan has me covered on that section. I don't need to see that again. I think most of us who were debating last week in the comments, we all completely forgot that Ushio could print. Yeah, we had quite a nice conversation going on the last episode, just discussing what could happen because so much had happened already. And we were discussing, how is he going to kill himself? How is he going to reset? How is he going to reset the loop without having a gun? Basically forgot that she could print. Didn't really factor in that she might break free, because it seemed like she wasn't resisting. And I was like, okay, she's just going to play along with it. He's accepted that I need to know what's going on. So I was like, okay, he's not going to be able to reset the loop at this point. But, oh yeah, she can print. I forgot about that. Not that it really does any help this week. But I do also have a bet. And it's just a little inkling inside me that there's more going on here. Them pinning Hanae as the villain right now, I just got a feeling at some point down the line it's going to be spun. It's that kind of anime that's probably going to twist it at some point to make it out that she's actually got a initial good motivation and maybe something happened and this is her reaction or something. I've got that theory. So for now, let's just bookmark it. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I've just got a little vibe that at some point her being just pinned as this selfish being who is lying to people, trying to just eat people. I have a feeling something more is going to come out of this, but not yet. We're not ready for it just yet, but that's my little theory there. Love the glitch boob censoring, and it happens a few times. I'm thankful for the glitch boob censoring. Technically, I'm not showing you those images. I don't think YouTube would still like it, but I was like, anybody who is streaming this, because a lot of people do the streaming thing and react live, they must be thankful for the glitch boobs this time around as well. It saves you from doing any censoring. It's perfect. We do also get what Shinpei was going to do. So he threw away the gun, and he did state if, things had gone horrifically wrong, he was going to snap his own neck. Now, I don't think it's possible for a human to snap their neck, but I've never tried. I just feel even if he tries to do it, his body's going to try and stop him. I did predict in the comments when we were all talking about it, his death would be gruesome. And if he had gone through trying to snap his neck, so gruesome. But I think what happens this week might have just been a tad more gruesome than just snapping his own neck. Gruesome, and then it went even further into the land of gruesome. Gruesome is maybe even a pleasant word to describe Shinpei losing all his fingers at the same time. And how quiet. It is the use of silence as well. Disney using the use of silence when that slice goes down. It's that split second where you're like, oh wait, something just happened, but I'm not sure what happened. Oh my God, no. And then the fingers hit the floor and I'm like, oh, okay, yep. We're just pushing the gruesomeness now. Gore factor to 11. This is still a Disney show, but wow. I'm so glad Disney doesn't make anime like it does its movies, because I'm actually loving how gruesome and graphic this one is. I think this anime is really making the use of its R rating. Thank God it got an R rating because it benefits. I think the use of moments like this help build that atmosphere even more to show you how serious it is, how painful it is. And he really is just the Subaru of this world where he's just going to die over and over and it's getting more and more graphic. He's the Fushi to your eternity, and that is coming back at some point. How gruesome those ones were getting. They were very gruesome deaths. This guy is just trying to one up every single one of them. Shinpei, you are winning that one, and I don't want to even rival you for that award. Mio is our hostage. The shadow seems to know that Mio is that very special key that, this is an important hostage. Everybody here is now being triggered. Everybody basically wants to protect her. Toki's okay with it as long as Mio's not involved, and now Mio's now involved. We did actually predict that would happen because this is the moment, I think, when Toki is like, oh, oh God, I'm not on your side anymore because you've now taken the one thing that you promised away from me. So now she's actually seeing a bit of sense. See as well through Shinpei's actions that it might be possible to stand up. Obviously, it doesn't last very long and they do die very quickly this week. It might be the moment when she says you can't hope to stand up against the shadow and she sees him doing it that she might have had a spark of hope within her. She went along with it because she didn't know what you could possibly do against the situation. So she felt bound that she couldn't get out of it. She couldn't escape. So she was trying to make the best of a very bad situation by going, okay, I'll do anything if you just keep the one person I care about, Mio, alive. All lies. Toki ends up revealing the lie that everybody was told and why everybody is helping the shadows out. I will revive your mum's body. Once my body is fully revived at the festival, I'm going to get my body back. I'm going to bring back your mum from the dead. And she's a god. I don't know if she has the ability to do that. She probably does. And you can see why they might believe a god would be able to do this. But that is just a lie that they've all been told. Obviously, that's not the case. The truth actually is I'm going to kill everybody and then get my body back. And you're all going to be dead and you won't see it. No one's coming back to life. So we've got the why. A lot of important questions being answered this week. The shadows, wow. Ironically, following the Spy X family wows from episode 12. Is that a coincidence? If they did plan that, that is amazing planning, but it's just fantastic how that's lined up. There's been a wow in nearly every episode I've watched this week. The big question started to loom over our heads. How was Shinpei gonna force a reset? Because we definitely needed one. G-cups. In case anybody was actually wondering. G-cups, not H-cups, G. But we did need this. The police officer, as I said, bringing that comedy, just a little bit of light-hearted break quickly. The plot is very heavy. Him appearing just to have the little G-cup comment. We needed it, a little bit of comedy, even though he's absolutely terrified. And he still does carry our girl to the darkness. He carries her despite being terrified and actually acts quite brave. And even though I think he ran off when Mio was attacked, maybe, but he does stay fun. I'm going to carry you. I will help you. I will take you there. So I do love him. He's one of my favourite characters. I still stand by the fact that he is my favourite character. He is my comic relief. I need him because the plot gets so heavy. Shinpei and his eye. Oh my God, it was gruesome. We've gone to body horror territory. He lost his eye. It was out. There was blood and there was glitching. Thank God for censoring as well. Didn't want to see inside his eye socket. It was gross. But his eye came back. There's also when we get a very key line that I don't know if anybody else took attention to. This is a very important line. I actually think this line might have given me all I need to know to where the plot's going to go. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? Doesn't actually matter because it creates a loop, it's cause and effect, something along those lines. I have a feeling I actually know where the plot is now going. Twistier than I initially thought. I might sit on this for a little bit because I am also worried if I keep giving you guys my theories, at some point I am going to strike gold and I don't want to spoil it for you guys. 80% I might have figured out this anime's jig, how it's going to end, where it's going to go, where the big ultimate twist is going to come. My little hints is Usho being our egg. Annoyingly, that makes our boy the chicken because I don't actually know where this anime is going. I've never read the material it's based upon. Some of you guys out there do know, but I also don't want you guys going to the comments. And if you guys confirm something, then we've spoiled it. So I'm just going to sit in my head that I feel pretty confident I know what's going on. Hanai tries to reprogram Usho. You know, I can't get rid of you. You're too valuable now. You're very, very powerful. She is very godly, which is what leans on the why you're the egg, because you're very special. This is bad end route number 2. Nowhere near genocide of the whole people, but this is definitely a very bad ending. Shinpei and his godlike eye powers. Let's talk about the reality here and Shinpei's actual powers. Shinpei can render his own reality. Our enemy knows this and they know the secret, and they've now figured out as well that he now needs to be the last person to die or their plan is going to be completely ruined. So after making a Mio flavoured smoothie, immediately as soon as he threatened, you know, don't move or the head's going to get crushed, I knew they were going to do it. Do you think this anime would waste a moment or a chance to not put in something that graphic? I knew exactly what was going to happen to Mio immediately as soon as I saw her in that predicament. I was like, at some point this episode it's gonna happen and it's gonna be gruesome. And I knew that poor Mio was basically written off already. They now know that they need to keep Shinpei alive, which is really bad because, again, that means he can't render. So once everything's happened, he can't render his own reality. He's basically stuck in their world, is from what I've got. So that also shows us how close the shadows might have been to actually having their plan succeed. If Shinpei wasn't the last person to die at the festival, so he was able to render backwards. Now, if they had kept him alive and he had been the last person and he hadn't been shot, they would have actually won. That is how close the shadows came from actually winning, and that is terrifying. So we've come from being almost the last person to die and almost actually having a total wipeout to now trying to pull it back. The idea is now we're going to try and pull it back. Shinpei has managed to reset it, and now we need to start pulling it back. That is how close it came to a very, very bad end. So a nice little link to the urban exploring episode. I am so happy they made this relevant. They actually brought it back, and I did have a few theories that episode, small details, were going to come back and be very important. The deadly tonic, the mercury poisoning, is the horrible way to go, guys. This is horrible. That mercury would be eating his entire, digestive tract. He's going to be coughing up blood. We are now going to loop number 5. Hello, welcome to loop 5. Ushu as well being that powerful, being the egg. She has the power to reverse a god's power. That's why I definitely have a few kind of suspicions about who she is and what she can do. Hane is definitely dealt a blow. She has something on her hand, so they've definitely managed to scar her, which is good. And to be fair, I bet that body isn't holding up. So if she's having to relive all those loops, I bet her body still has a scar next loop as well. So we have started a new loop, and it's starting later and later, but it may not matter anymore, because if Shinpei can render his own reality and he can control it, it may be irrelevant anyways, because this plot goes on centuries and centuries, so he would need to somehow creep it forward every 3 days. It's not going to happen. They're going to have some kind of fail-safe, his eye is able to render everything, and once he's sorted it and won, he might be able to reset it to how he wants or something like that. I just have a feeling that might be the case. So one hell of an episode, so much information to digest. I've got a big theory now. I bet you guys have some theories as well. This was one hell of an episode. We've got motives, we've got origin stories, we've got possible links to the end game going on. A lot of people are going to look back on this anime in years to come as the one with a lot of gruesomeness. As I keep making links to Higurashi, nothing is going to move me more than a certain episode of Higurashi when they cry. There was a certain episode that I don't normally get squeamish, but it was one episode in particular, and if you've seen it, you know exactly what episode I'm talking about. Yeah. That episode is never going to be top for me. You're never going to top that episode. At least this anime is giving it a nice shot. You never know. They might have their same scene, but they've done it with Hane. Who knows? But a fantastic episode. I really am enjoying this. It's so clever. I'm loving the links. Really enjoying it. I can't wait to break down the rest of it with you guys. Welcome to summer 2022. And it started with a head smoothie. I need to go and digest this one now, but I might not be eating for a while. Thank you guys so much. I am so happy to have you on board for the next breakdowns. I hope you're looking after yourselves, and I hope you've got lots of theories going on in your head. Have a good day, guys. Thanks for the support. Bye-bye.